Hi, hello and welcome back to F1 Challenge VB. My name is Mephisto and our epic journey through the history of Formula 1 continues today with the 6th round of the 1957 season, the German Grand Prix. It was held on the 4th of August, it had 24 entries, all of them took part in the race with 9 of them having to retire. The race consisted of 22 laps completed in 3 hours, 30 minutes and 38 seconds. The lineup at the start of the race saw Fangio on pole with Hawthorne in second, and Berra in third. Collins started from 4th, whilst Tony Brooks occupied the 5th spot on the grid. Fangio drove his Maserati to victory, Hawthorne came second, 3.6 seconds later, Collins finished third, 35.6 seconds behind, Luigi Musso was 4th, 3 minutes 37.6 seconds adrift, and rounding off the top 5 was Stirling Moss, who was 4 minutes 37.2 seconds down. Fangio also posted the fastest lap of the race, a 9-minute 17.4 second lap. And here we are once again at the Nordschleife for the German Grand Prix, and the lap here starts with a long run down into turn 1, a slow left-hander, followed by a tight right-hand hairpin. Later on we come into this medium speed right-hander. Watch your speed as you come into the corner, as you can very easily hit the foot of the bridge on the exit, and that would definitely end your race. Later still we come through this tight left-hander, brake early and take it easy as you cross the bridge. This leads us up the hill into this blind slow right-hander. Careful with the throttle as you exit, the car tends to break traction as you crest the hill. Eventually we come into one of the most recognizable corners in Formula 1, the carousel. Aim for the second tree from the right and feed the car through the bowl. Take your time and don't use too much power. Later we come into the mini carousel. This is slightly faster, but it's just as crucial to get it right, otherwise you might end up watching the rest of the race from the sidelines. After a very long right-hander we come onto the longest straight on the track. You finally have time for a breather before reaching the final corner, a fast right-hander, which brings us back around onto the main straight, and that is a lap around the Green Hell, aka the Nordschleife circuit. And here we are in qualifying, just entering the carousel, and as you can probably tell, it is raining, the car is absolutely difficult to control, and as I come out of the carousel I get a bit too eager on the power, lose control of the car, it spins around. Luckily I managed to keep it running, keep the engine running, but then I even managed to turn it around, but then the car gets stuck on the geometry, and well, I've already spent like 15 to 20 minutes to get here, so I'm not going to restart the qualifying session. That was wasted. So we start just like last season from the back. And here are the previous German Grand Prix winners. We managed to win in 1956, the first time we actually did that. But anyway, here is a grid walk. We have Moss on pole with Fangio in second, Mike Hawthorne third, Tony Brooks 4th with Bob Gerrard rounding off the top 5. Next we have Jack Brabham in 6th, Harry Shelley 7th, followed by Maston Gregory in 8th in his Ferrari. After him we have Luigi Musso in 9th, 10th is Wolfgang von Trips, Peter Collins 11th, Jean Berra 12th, Roy Salvadori 13th, 14th is Stuart Lewis Evans, Carlos Menditegui is in 15th, 16th is held by Jose Freilan Gonzalez, Trintignant 17th, Joe Bonnier 18th, Deportago, who unfortunately doesn't really count, 19th, and Andy Higgs in 20th. So essentially Andy is 19th, but oh well. So here we are for the German Grand Prix, always an exciting race for me. I really enjoy racing here, but it's raining once again just like in qualifying. So we will have to take it easy at the beginning at least until the weather clears. It will clear, at least that's what the weather forecast said, and someone already lost control of their car as everyone slows down to avoid a collision. And we now move into turn 1. We have Harry Schell right in front of us. He was the person who lost control of his Maserati, as we now come into the hairpin, and hopefully we'll be able to overtake Shell once we get onto the straight. We should have equally powerful cars, so shouldn't be too difficult to catch up. And indeed we easily slide past Harry Schell there. Next we have Jose Froilan Gonzalez in his Ferrari as we come through turn 3 here. And that's nicely done as someone in another Maserati loses control of his car. That was Joe Bonnier. And here is another look at the start. Very slow on my end, but I had a bit of wheel slip because of, well, the track is wet, so kind of acceptable. And that is Harry Schell there losing control of his Maserati and kind of holding up the back of the field, but eventually we get going again, so hopefully we'll be able to catch up to at least the midfield, if not the front of the grid. That would be even better, but this is the Nordschleife and it's a very, very difficult race, as we now see Mustang Gregory coming through the Flugplatz, losing control of his Ferrari and gets collected by a fellow Ferrari driver, and that's the end of their race. That was Peter Collins, and here is a look at Peter Collins coming to collect Mustang Gregory, and well, that is the end of their race, unfortunately. And here we have Juan Manuel Fangio losing control of his Maserati, drives up the hill, he goes over the fence, and well, we know he cannot return to the track, but he's still trying though, so kudos to him. This is sped up, by the way, just so. That was an interesting roll. I don't know how that's possible physically, but anyway. So that's the end of Juan Manuel Fangio's race, and here we have Harry Schell at the end of lap 1 coming into the pits to retire, because why the bloody hell not? And now we also have Jean Berra coming into the pits to retire. So those are the retirements after only one lap. As we come around to start our second lap, we move up into second. Luigi Musso is 11th, some 10 seconds up the road. Jean Berra behind us. Obviously we know he already retired, so he's no longer a threat to us. Hopefully we can catch the guys ahead, but towards the end of lap 2, Carlos Menditegui decided to come into the pits to retire. So did Joe Bonnier, but he did it because he had some suspension problems, so at least his stop is warranted. Menditegui wasn't. And here we have Sterling Moss in his van while coming around, losing control of the car. Flips it across the fence, and well, he's out of the race. And here is Mike Hawthorne in his Ferrari coming through this right-hander, loses control of the car, tries to turn it around, but flips it upside down, and he is out of the German Grand Prix. And now we have Maurice Trintignant in his Ferrari losing control of his car and getting it across the fence, and he's upside down and out of the race. As we now move on to lap 3, the sky has gotten darker once again, but we move up into 8th, still chasing after Luigi Musso. He is 22 seconds ahead, so quite a gap. And this is Wolfgang von Trips retiring from his home Grand Prix, unfortunately, as he flips his car upside down. This is Gonzalez coming to keep him company, I guess, so that is it. And towards the end, we see Luigi Musso coming into the pits to retire, and so is Tony Brooks. Yeah. Not much to comment on that, to be honest. People coming into the pits to retire because whatever. That's quite annoying. And we now come around to finish. We were coming around to finish lap 3, and everyone retired. This is Jack Brabham coming into the pits. This is Gerard coming into the pits to retire as well. We also have Roy Salvadori, who decided he had more than enough of this race. And finally we have Lewis Evans, who also comes into the pits to retire. So, I don't know what to say about that really. Disappointing is probably the best word to describe that. Anyway, we can move to the end of this race because, well, there is nothing left for us to do because we are the only ones left in the race, and here we are coming around to take the win of the German Grand Prix. The worst race on the Nordschleife ever. And that is a sentence I never thought I would have to say. I never thought I would have to use worst and Nordschleife in the same sentence, so very, very disappointing. But we win, yay! Let's celebrate. No. Yeah, I have nothing to say about that. This was stupid. This was absolutely stupid. But anyway, here are the career statistics, and this was Andy's 63rd Grand Prix. His best start is from first, has 3 pole positions, has set 12 fastest laps, his best finishes in first, has completed 45 races, 39 of them in the points, has won 24 races, 4 at the Indianapolis 500, 3 at the Monaco Grand Prix, has 5 championships under his belt, has a total of 263 points, has retired 18 times, has experienced 1,493 out of 1,801 laps, has 5 bronze trophies, 5 silver trophies, 24 gold trophies, and as an extension, 24 podiums. And here is a quick look at the championship standings. Andy takes the lead once again. Roy Salvadori is in second, Sterling Moss third, fourth is Evans and Jack Brabham in fifth. And everyone has scored points all the way down to 9th place, held by Harry Schell. Oh yeah, and at the very bottom we have Alfonso de Portago, who, well, is no longer with us really. So that was the German Grand Prix, the most disappointing race I ever had here, which is really disappointing because I enjoy racing here, unless there's nothing to race, no one to race against, which makes those very, very long laps very, very boring, tiresome and pointless. But oh well. Maybe one day someone will fix the bug with the pits, I hope. Anyway, our next race is a race I really do not want to do but have to. It's the Pescara Grand Prix, a weird little race, a race that shouldn't actually exist anymore, but I'm talking in terms of 1957 obviously. It's one of the, if not the most dangerous races ever. It was kind of a stupid thing to do, even back then, so it's a long circuit. It's actually longer than the Nordschleife, and it was a very, very, very dangerous circuit, and unfortunately the model which is used in the game is absolutely stupid and annoying, and I really want to just get over with it. So yeah, well, that is it for the German Grand Prix. I don't really have anything else to talk about it. You saw what happened, so nothing interesting, nothing good. So yeah, that is the end of the German Grand Prix, the end of this video. Don't forget to vote for next season's team, link is in the description. I also have a second channel where I will be playing all sorts of different games. At the moment I'm doing a playthrough of the original Need for Speed Underground, so if you're interested, there is a link in the description to that as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.